How you doing, Scotty Bear? Back with another video. This video about how to avoid the inflated cost for your 30-day stay in Manila. So if you're looking through the Airbnb app or trying to search for a place for your 30-day stay in Manila, I am going to give you some tips and maybe some advice that'll save you a lot of money, and you'll be able to have a lot more fun. So it does appear that costs in Manila have gone up a lot, and I have to believe that demand is pretty low. I am aware that Airbnb's fees are through the roof, and again, Airbnb host really is probably the cause of most of this inflated rents. And the same phenomenon is going on really in Tijuana and in Baja California, because frankly, they're very inexpensive places to stay, Manila and Tijuana, and paying too much really just doesn't make sense. But this video being about Manila, I was in shock when I seen some of the costs on the app and thought to myself, wow, I mean, where are these costs coming from? But that being said, I'm going to kind of share with you some tips how to bypass that and maybe get more value for your stay. So the Airbnb app is helpful tool. The way I would go about it personally is I would only book for like 3 days. Get here, get out of the airport, get rest a little bit, maybe explore, especially if you're not familiar with Manila. From area to area, it really changes a lot, but there is hidden value, but you have to really know where to look for it. So I would just book for like 3 days and look around a little bit, and I would look at the hotels in the area and negotiate your butt off. I have not used Airbnb here. I found it much too expensive, and from my observation looking around, there really isn't a lot of foreigners. If anything, there is an election, presidential election, a very hotly contested election, and from locals that I talk to here, they feel like restrictions are going to come back, lockdowns. And from here in the Manila Times reported just today, the return of the quarantine may come back for our arrivals, which is probably not good news for many of the hosts and hotels and people that rely on foreigners to come into the country. When I was able to come through, the restrictions were very lax. However, I was still very surprised. Like I had to show my vaccine card to get on an airplane. I had to show my vaccine card to get on a second airplane, and to again fly over to Korea, and then show my vaccine card to fly out of Korea over to the Philippines. Show my vaccine card to get into the Philippines, plus all this paperwork, even though that I signed up for this app, and then show my vaccine card to get into the motel. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, I wasn't able to get here without having been vaccinated. So and that didn't really bother me per se, but there is a high level of dysfunctionality, but definitely the restrictions that are in place are very observed, right? I mean, their mask usage is definitely very high, especially in Manila. Outside, I it's got to be the highest that I've seen of any of the places I've traveled. Tijuana was fairly high. Manila, inside, outside, everywhere, people are wearing masks. So there's that. The only other restriction that seems to be really observed, of course, is hours of the businesses in operation are kind of cut back a little bit, but it seems mostly business as usual. But the other thing that I feel like the main problem for most of this inflated cost of the rentals is middlemen. Airbnb, I'll be honest, again, the Airbnb has really not offered me any real security or safety or its claims. Again, from my experience, it really feels like most of the Airbnbs are managed by Chinese nationals. I mean, one Airbnb I booked, the AC was leaking on the bed, the couch was broken. I mean, really not that great of an experience. And when I contacted Airbnb about it, it was very interesting. It was just like, oh, shucks, dude. And so I really feel like you're much better off just kind of using Airbnb as a tool. It is convenient. You show up here, you're very tired. Maybe you traveled a long, long ways. In our case, it was 3 flights. And by the time I got here, we were very done with it. And was able to just, actually, I had set up a place because I have connections locally. So I was able to bypass the Airbnb, but I still contend that you're going to get a better experience from a hotel and pay far less middlemen. And again, another helpful tip might be, why are you staying in Makati in general? That's an important question to ask yourself. It is convenient. There are some great places to see, right, and restaurants locally. But I still feel like Subic, Olongapo, Angeles City, Cebu, Iloilo, many of these places are much better options, and you're going to get a lot more value for your stay. You might pay just a little more to go that extra, flight or to Angeles City. You could probably take a bus for like $6-7 from the airport. But you're going to save lots and lots of money, and you're not going to grease as many palms, and you're probably going to have a lot better experience. That being said, I do appreciate you watching and following along with my videos. Have a wonderful Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning where you're at.